Oh, worst robot of all time.
Word.
Goodness gracious.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Berean Youth Podcast, the place where you go for smiles and joy. I don't know what that means.
Huh,
Oh, my.
wow.
I don't know. I just
pulled out a slogan for the
Yeah.
podcast.
What would your slogan for the podcast be?
The place where you go to see a bald guy and people younger than him.
All right.
Okay, that was a good one, actually.
That was good. It took him 5 minutes to come up with it, and then it was just like,
wait a
eh.
second. I said it.
Well, welcome to the podcast. My name is Dusty. I'm one of your hosts, and I am here with Eddie, one of the other hosts. Eddie, just say, I don't know, introduce yourself.
What's up? Opening day is this Thursday. I'm excited.
Of
baseball.
Okay. And on the other side from Eddie, someone that's at least a foot taller than Eddie, and that is
Whoa.
sorry, Eddie. Love you, buddy.
I'm
that
wearing
is,
heels.
You
It's
know,
fine.
she's at least a century younger than you.
Oh.
that's actually true. All right. And Erica, it's been a while since you've been on. What's
has
been up
been a
in the
while.
life of Erica?
School.
School. All right. What are you going to school for again?
Social media management. So,
Social media management.
at the moment,
So that just means you play on Instagram all the time.
no.
Yes. I go to
wish.
school
wish.
for social media management. What's that mean? I watch YouTube.
I don't like to watch YouTube, though, so
There it is.
Dude, I'm a YouTube guy, but I'm old. All right. Well, welcome to the podcast. Erica, what would your slogan for the podcast be if you had one?
oh my word, I have no idea.
Oh, my word, I have no
Good
idea. That's not bad.
question.
Oh, how about this? This would be it.
Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
love
yeah,
that.
okay.
The Berean
That's
Youth
actually
Podcast.
pretty good.
Whatever.
Whatever.
All right. That's your soundbite. All right. Well, welcome to the podcast. If you are joining us for the first time, buckle up because we have quite a show for you today. We have a lot of stuff that we're doing that has to do with Easter because this is Easter week. We're getting ready to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus on Sunday. And all this week, our church is having services and different things for us to ponder and remember the events leading up to the death and resurrection of Jesus. So when this comes out on Friday, it will be Good Friday, which marks the day that Jesus died on the cross. And then Sunday marks the day that he rose from the dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I get this this is a bonus question today, by the way. This is not our question of the day. But I get the question all the time. It says that Jesus rose 3 days later. But if he died on Friday and rose again on Sunday, how is that 3 days later? Because that's only 2 days later. Do you guys know the answer? That's okay. You don't have to. I will give it to you.
Pretty good.
So actually, back in those times and in Jewish culture, a day, even if it's 10 minutes of a day, counts as a day. It's not, they don't go by 24-hour periods. So Friday counted as the first day, Saturday counted as the second day, and Sunday morning is the third day. So that's why that's why they say he rose on the third day, because in Jewish culture and in that time, even if it was 10 minutes of a day, it counted as a day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why. So there's a little trivia for you, a little Bible trivia.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. Excited about today, Eddie. I know you keep up with the news. We've talked about this.
Yes.
By the way, recently I have deleted all the bookmarks for news sites on my phone and computer because I just can't take it anymore. It just drives me nuts. So I don't even follow the news anymore. But do you have any? I know you were talking about some things in the news. What do you got for us today?
Well, this is a big one, a big story. No pun intended. Once
Okay.
I explain it.
Oh, my.
But the Suez Canal in Africa, one of the main ways.
Is that where it's at, or is it in Alaska?
No, it's
Oh,
Africa.
okay.
So one of the main ways
I don't know.
that things are shipped all around the world.
Right.
A ship was going through it called the Ever Given, and it's
That's the name of the ship is
Yep.
Ever Given?
Ever Given. Yep.
Man, somebody
it's-
was goofy when they named that boat.
I don't know why they named it that. When I first saw it, I thought it said Evergreen.
Hey,
But-
we just built a brand new shipping container boat. What are we going to call it?
How about the Ever
How
Given?
about
Forgiven.
yeah? How about the Discovery? No, that sounds too cool. How about
No,
the
that sounds
Awesome
too
Boat? No, let's do Ever Given. Yeah,
Nailed it.
No, sounds like a bad in 90s band. All right, go ahead.
So this boat got diagonally stuck at the end of the canal.
What?
It got stuck.
Oh my word.
So it was blocking.
How did it get stuck?
It caused a traffic jam with hundreds of ships waiting to go through it.
Yeah.
And it was stuck in the canal. It got finally out of it this morning, or Monday morning, I should say.
Are you
But
serious?
It was stuck in the canal since last Tuesday.
That's insane.
What? Have you heard about this?
I had not.
This must be it has to be a big story. I just didn't know about it. Although I did see a meme the other day from there's a college that I follow on Instagram, and they like said when you're trying to get to the dining hall, and they had like a shipping container imposed over like the walking path, and I was like, what? That is the dumbest meme
That
I've
would
ever
have been
seen.
the Ever Given.
The Ever Given. Okay.
Oh, okay.
How do you get stuck sideways? Like, who is driving that boat?
They got stuck in a divot, and yeah, I mean, there would have been some stuff with the water that might have caused it or whatever, but I would say it was probably the driver's fault.
What do you think happened to it, Erica?
I think their crew is not experienced enough.
Erica knows about shipping
I
cruise
know a little bit
because
about ships.
she goes on cruises.
Well, maybe they ran
80
out of
times a year.
gas. Maybe they just ran out of gas.
What?
If you don't know,
Yeah.
Erica is
Oh,
notorious
you're
for running
right.
out of gas.
That's true. They
But-
I've
probably,
never actually run out of gas,
Erica,
though,
they
people.
probably their gas light probably doesn't work, so they just didn't know.
I don't know, but I can't imagine. Now,
Yeah.
I've been to the Panama Canal many times because I used to go to Panama once or twice a year on missions, and been to the Panama Canal bazillion times, but I cannot picture a boat getting stuck. Like it must not be I don't know too much about the canal, but it can't be that like great of a canal if they can get stuck, because like the Panama Canal, it's like set
Wide.
Yeah, I don't know.
That boat was really, really big, so it was
Yeah.
just
That
got-
or the canal was just too small and it shouldn't have been going through in the first place.
maybe, I don't know.
No, I think somebody.
Yeah,
I think
somebody didn't
I
know
think
what they were
somebody just
doing.
know
Somebody
what they
fell
were doing.
asleep at the wheel and
Yeah.
ended up going, "Oh, why are we going sideways?"
Somebody lost their job.
Or it was just a really bad double dare. I bet you can't turn this boat around inside
And
the canal.
still, yeah.
And then whatever.
Oh.
You think they all lost their jobs?
Well, at the end of the day, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know how much money was lost because they got stuck in the canal and blocked shipping for a week?
Yeah.
A lot. They're out of their
Yeah,
job.
that's a
Yeah.
little crazy.
And all the stuff that was supposed to be shipped through that
Just
was
sitting
supposed
in
to
the-
come here, like,
Mhm.
whatever, like, I don't know, like the socks I wanted to buy, and now they're stuck in
No.
the canal or
whatever. Yeah.
right?
It's behind.
Or all the Easter candy that could have been coming
Oh,
here
Man.
that is
it's
now
true.
not going to come here.
Peeps are even more expired now.
Peeps stink. All right.
Ew. Peeps
so
are gross.
that leads us into our next thing. And Eddie, I know that you have a new segment for us. We've done the fill in the five. We've done a couple other segments, but we have a brand new segment. And go ahead and describe it for us, Eddie.
So we're calling this BY Drafts. Now, I won't take credit for this because I heard
Okay.
this on another podcast, and I thought it would be really cool to try it out on ours.
Okay, now describe what it is.
So we have different categories of things. Like, for example, this one we're doing Easter candies. Next
Okay.
time, we might draft states.
Okay.
We might, whatever.
Now you are so sports minded
Right.
that draft is automatic to
Yeah,
you.
right.
But for those of you that are not sports minded, Eric, are you very sports minded?
I'm not.
Okay, so let me explain to you, Eric. What do you think draft means?
Okay, like you rank, sort of.
You rank, sort of.
Oh my gosh.
That's what happens when
so
a middle
like you
schooler.
kind of rank your favorite.
That's what happens when a middle schooler doesn't wear deodorant. They're rank,
They
sort of.
rank,
gosh.
sort of.
But okay, so what a
Oh,
draft
man.
is when teams once a year, NFL, NBA, MLB, whatever the sport is, they will get to take college players or players that are amateurs, and they get to draft them onto their team. So they each take a turn picking a player to be on their team, right? And they can move up or down the draft board. There's all different kinds of stuff, but that's essentially what it is. So they rank, like you said, the players that they want the most or the least. And so we are going to have a draft on here today, and we might have different ones in the future, but what are we drafting today?
Today, we are drafting our dream Easter baskets. We're drafting Easter candy.
Easter candy, yeah. All right, did you guys grow up with Easter baskets and Easter candy?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Well, and what was your favorite thing about Easter other than the candy?
My favorite thing about
Yeah.
Easter other than the candy?
Yeah.
Oh, well, obviously it was going to church.
Obviously.
Oh, you guys are so.
It was not, my favorite part was not having to get all dressed up in what my mom wanted me to wear, though.
That's
You
true.
didn't? Oh, man.
Hated it. Hated it.
So I had to get dressed up when I was a kid for Easter.
Yeah.
And then I got married, and now I'm married to my wife who loves it when we dress up for Easter. So now I got to dress up still. So I'll probably be wearing a tie on Sunday. Yeah, it's
Poor
yeah.
you.
okay. All right, so we got our Easter candies here that we're going to draft. I'm going to read out the 15 that are on the board, and then we are going to each take turns drafting. So here's the 15 on the board in no particular order. We have Starburst jelly beans. We have Reese's or Reese's, however you want to pronounce it, peanut butter eggs. We have Peeps, chocolate bunnies, Tootsie Roll candy coated eggs. Never even heard of those. Sweet Tarts, Chicks, Ducks, and Bunnies. That's all one. Sour Patch Kids bunnies, Twizzlers, Swedish Fish jelly beans, Cadbury cream eggs, Jelly Belly jelly beans, Whoppers robin eggs, M&M's, Brock's malted milk eggs, and finally, rounding out the 15, Oreo cookies and cream eggs. All right, so that is a lot of sugar, enough to get us hyped up for the rest of the show. All right, so who gets to go first for the draft? Are we going to go youngest to oldest?
No, I don't want to go first.
Okay, should we go oldest to youngest?
Sure, we'll do that.
Okay, oldest to youngest. So that means I get to go first. And I am going to pick the best one on this list, and that is Reese's peanut butter eggs. That is the best candy
I'm
on
not
this
surprised
list.
that's the first one to go off the board.
I mean, seriously, you can't go wrong with that. It's
Right.
like regular Reese's peanut butter cups are good, but when you get the eggs, it's like it
so
has,
much better.
has like the
So much
extra
better.
peanut butter in there. It's just
Mhm.
so good. And like I could eat 5 of those like in 2 seconds.
Yep.
What do you think? You like those?
Those are very good.
All
yeah.
right, all
I
right.
was going in another direction, though.
All right, Eddie, what's yours?
I'm picking what I actually think is the best one on the board.
All right, next one.
Starburst jelly beans.
Starburst jelly beans. I have had those. They are pretty good.
They are the best kind of jelly bean out there.
I think they're pretty good. I don't know if I'd put them past Jelly Bellies, but they're good.
They're really,
Do you like
really
jelly
good.
beans?
Jelly Belly is better.
Okay, so here's the
Whoa.
question. Do you guys like black jelly beans? Like licorice flavor ones?
Well, black licorice is not that great.
How about you?
I'll eat them.
But you don't
They're
like
not my
them?
favorite, but I
I'll-
will eat them.
I don't really like them, but I'll eat
my-
them.
Okay,
Well,
I don't dislike
I
them.
don't like eating dirt, but I guess I'll eat it. What I don't understand. It tastes gross, but no.
Oh, well.
I'm sorry. No, I love licorice, so I'm
I like
always the
licorice
guy that
too, I
likes the
just-
black ones.
It's a little too sweet.
Sweet.
It's just a little. It just doesn't taste good to me.
Okay, if you think, tell me in the comments down below on YouTube. Do you think black licorice is sweet? Because a lot of people
No.
would say it's like not tart, but like sour. I don't know.
I don't even know how you describe black
Okay,
licorice,
you were about to
honestly.
say black licorice was sour.
No.
No.
I took that back. I took that back. All right, Erica, you're next on the board. What are you drafting?
I am drafting. I just had what I was going to say.
Come on.
What the?
You've got the
okay.
list.
Jelly Belly jelly beans.
Jelly Belly jelly beans. Okay, that's
The
not
second, the second best jelly bean.
bad. All right, I am going with my next one. Let's go with Sour Patch Kid bunnies.
Okay.
I am a Sour Patch guy, man. That is my
Absolutely.
deal. By the way, I was at the mall the other day and they had like you could buy like a statue of a Sour Patch Kid that was like this tall. Almost
Whoa.
bought it for my office.
Huh.
But it was
You
like
should have.
it was like $500.
Oh, okay, then
Goodness
never mind, Ben.
gracious.
But what if it was filled with Sour Patch
With
Kids?
Sour Patch. Could be worth it then.
Dude,
Oh
you
my
could fill
word.
a swimming pool up with Sour Patch, and I would have that swimming pool empty by the end of the day. All right, Eddie, what's next? What are you drafting
Next
second?
one I'm going is Sweet tarts, chicks, ducks, and bunnies.
Okay, never had them. What are those?
So you know the regular sweet tarts, right?
Yeah.
It's just in the shape of
Oh, in the
chicks,
shape
ducks, and
of-
bunnies.
Uh,
They're
okay.
really good. They taste better in that shape. I don't know what it is, but they taste better.
It's because you're eating like animals. And anytime you can eat an animal, it's better, right? Chicks, ducks, and bunnies. Yeah. All right, Erica, what do you got?
Okay, I'm going to go with Twizzlers.
Twizzlers. Ooh, I like Twizzlers. I'll give you that one.
The strawberry
don't-
ones,
but-
not the cherry
okay.
ones.
What makes this an Easter candy though? Because it's just
Yeah, I was
Twizzlers.
wondering that though.
You could put any kind of eggs in. I mean, you can put anything in your Easter eggs.
Any kind of egg. Well,
Well,
then,
Easter eggs, I prefer when people put money in the Easter eggs, but that's just my opinion.
yeah, that's true. I like money in my Easter
That
eggs
would be
too.
better.
Thank you, Easter Bunny. All right. Next one for me. Well, see, I know what I want to say, but I don't believe it's an Easter candy because I love M&Ms, but I don't know if I count it as Easter
Well,
candy.
there are M&Ms.
I guess they
that
do
are
make
Easter brand.
Easter color M&Ms.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm taking M&Ms, specifically peanut M&Ms.
Okay.
The bomb.
My dad loves those too.
Yeah.
I guess it must be an old guy thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is an old
I
guy thing.
don't-
My dad
I
likes them too.
Okay, so how about this? I know some friends of mine down in the South. This is kind of the thing they do. It's a big thing down there where you get a bottle of Dr. Pepper or Coke, and then you put peanuts in your bottle, and then you drink, and it's kind of that salty, sweet mix. And then when you get to the end, you can eat the peanuts. But this is the bigger thing. Some people put peanut M&Ms in their
that
like in
sounds
their Mountain
gross.
Dew,
Okay then.
and then they drink it and eat. What do you think of that?
That sounds disgusting.
I think it
Yeah,
sounds.
no.
Give me some Diet Coke and peanut
Oh.
M&Ms.
Maybe we'll have to
Gross.
test this on the podcast one week.
Okay,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you get like to the end and they're all mushy and it just it's
Please
so good.
no.
Oh, mushy.
It's like all
No.
mushy, like
mushy peanut.
Well, I guess you're old.
M&Ms.
You kind of need the mushy.
Yeah. You can't have solid foods afternoon.
yeah, thanks. But it's like regurgitated, but it's so good. All right, Eddie, what do you got next? You got the last one.
So I've kind of gotten the sugary ones in there. I need to get a chocolate one. I'm going with the chocolate bunnies. I can't believe those are not off the board
A
yet.
chocolate. It depends on the chocolate bunny, because the
The
chocolate.
brand is everything.
The
With
brand does
chocolate
matter.
But
bunnies.
sometimes they taste just like chalk. You know
That's
what I
true.
mean?
That's
They're
true.
like real chalky, but the good
So
chocolate
let's
ones.
say I went with like a Lindor chocolate bunny.
Okay.
I was gonna say that.
That'd work. And one time I got a chocolate bunny for Easter that my mom got me, and it was solid. It wasn't hollow. Oh, it was so good. I just sat in my room and pounded that thing.
That is the one drawback of the chocolate bunnies is that you bite into it and then it's hollow.
Yeah.
But other than that, they're really, really good.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going with Oreo cookies and cream eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know if I've ever had those.
I haven't either.
You
I
just
mean,
like
they just
Oreos.
sounded
cream.
good.
Oreos. Yeah, how could it not be good?
I've never had them, but I'll take a. Okay. All right. My last one, or did I already give
You went
three?
first.
Okay. Well, I'm going last because I think there's one that I love that is not on here.
Oh, okay. We can go off the board.
Because like Peeps.
No.
If you like Peeps, I want you to put in the comments why you like Peeps, because I have no earthly idea why anybody would like Peeps. And I did hear somebody the other day say they like Peeps, but they only like them when they're like partly stale, like when they're older. And I'm like, what?
That's pretty.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know what's been happening there. All right. I would say, other ones on the list that were honorable mention. Whoppers, Robin eggs aren't bad. Malted milk eggs are okay.
Here's what I'll say about Whoppers.
What?
If you like the consistency of sidewalk chalk, you'll like the consistency of Whoppers.
Agreed.
It feels
Whoppers
like you're eating
not
chalk.
good.
Do you like malted milkshakes? Like malts? Like,
Yeah, malts are fine. But how is that anything like Whoppers?
because that's what that is. It's just in a milkshake, right?
No, it's not.
Oh.
Because that's solid.
Well, that's
You're-
what.
It
what do you
has the
think they're
same
putting in
taste,
the
though.
milkshake?
And I don't like that taste. So
Okay. Then we also have on here Swedish fish jelly beans sound good. I never had them. And then what was the one on here?
Malted milk eggs.
Tootsie Roll candy coated eggs. I don't even know
what
what
is
that
that?
is.
Well, I would guess it's just Tootsie Roll, the Tootsie Roll candy, but in the shape of an egg. Like the Tootsie Roll chocolate and then egg on the inside of it.
Candy coated egg.
Kind of like an egg, like a robin's
so
egg.
maybe it's like a Tootsie Pop, but it's in the shape of an egg.
Yeah. And then on the inside of the Tootsie Pop is a robin egg kind of thing.
All right. The one that's not on here that I love are, you have Cadbury Creme eggs. I don't like those.
A lot of people don't like those.
If you've ever had the Cadbury chocolate eggs, the mini chocolate eggs, have you had those, Erica? How would you describe those?
It's okay. I don't know how I'd describe them, but they're way better than the Cadbury cream eggs.
They're like creamy chocolate.
So good.
Oh my gosh, they are unbelievable. Like I'm just getting fatter thinking about that right now. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, if you have a Easter candy that is not on the list that we mentioned, or another one that is your favorite, comment it down below so that we can see what it is, and we might pick one of the best Easter candy suggestions and buy you like 10 bags of it. So put that down below, and if we pick it out, we will buy you 10 bags of whatever you pick. So that's a lot of Easter candy.
That's a lot of candy.
But we'll buy it.
Hopefully you're not a middle schooler.
No, we'll buy it on Monday when it's all half price.
Yes.
After Easter. But no, seriously, put that down there and we will go all out and buy you 10 bags of it. All right. Well, I am excited about Easter because it's one of my favorite holidays. Not just because of how we celebrate. I think Christmas is one of my favorites on how we celebrate. But Easter is one of my favorites because of the meaning of it and the fact, the importance of it. So we're excited about that. If you are here this weekend in the Minneapolis Twin Cities area and you want to come celebrate with us here at Berean Baptist Church, we would love for you to do that. Our services for Easter are Saturday night at 5:00. And then Sunday, we have classic services at 8:15 and 10, and then modern services at 9 and 11. And so we would love for you to be here. All three of us will be here serving, and we'll see you, say hi to you, that kind of stuff, and that kind of stuff. So come check us out. All right. I think it's about time for our question of the day.
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here we go. Let's do it.
Good question.
Good question. All right.
Good question.
Is that you saying that, right?
Yes,
Okay,
it is.
do it for
Laura.
us.
Good question.
Oh,
Whoa.
all right.
All right.
This sounded like a
Sound like
deja vu.
you pushed the button or something.
Okay, ready? Let's see who does it better. Ready? Say it at the end. I'll pause it.
Good question.
Oh, that's awesome.
okay.
All right. The small things that amuse us. All right. So weird.
Whatever.
Okay, so today's question comes from one of our students in youth ministry, and unfortunately, I do not remember who asked this. I don't remember a name, but it's one of our first questions that we actually have recorded that was sent to us recorded. So here comes the question of the day.
When did the disciples become Christians?
Okay. When did the disciples become Christians? That's a great question. Now, I know I have some ideas on this, and so I'll go first. But I think that's kind of a loaded question a little bit because it depends on how you define the word Christian and what you mean by the word Christian. So I guess the definition of the word and then what you mean by it when you say it. So in the Bible, there are 3 passages in the Bible that actually use the word Christian. And in the Greek, the word Christian, if you break it down, is Christos, which is the first part, which means Christ or Savior. And then the second part, which is kind of the ending, the Ian at the end, really is kind of a describer, and describing part. And what that means is follower of, or in some cases it can be even mean enslaved to. And so it's really saying follower of Jesus, right? So if we go by just the definition of the word Christian, by looking at the root of the word, then a lot of people say, well, the disciples were Christians because it means follower of Jesus when they decided to follow Jesus. So when he called them to be his disciples and they started following him, they became followers of Jesus or Christians. Now, other people believe, well, the word Christian is related more, what we mean when we say it is that it's related to the church, which is more the start of a religion, right? Although we believe that being a follower of Christ is not a religion, it's a relationship. The word Christian refers to a religion or a church, right? When somebody says, what religion are you? We're going to say we're Christian, right? Mm-hmm. If that's the case, then that really comes into play where we see some of the first words, the first time and only time in the Bible the word Christian was mentioned. And so in Acts chapter 11, verse 19 through 26, let me read this passage. So it says, now those who were scattered because of the persecution that arose over Stephen traveled as far as Phoenicia and Cyprus and Antioch, speaking the word to no one except Jews. So they're going to the Jewish people, talking about Jesus and what happened. But there were some of them, men of Cyprus and Cyrene, who on coming to Antioch spoke to the Hellenistic also, preaching the Lord Jesus. And the hand of the Lord was with them, and a great number who believed turned to the Lord. The report of this came to the ears of the church in Jerusalem, and they sent Barnabas to Antioch. So there's this dude Barnabas. They're sending him to Antioch to go and help with this new church, right? When he came and saw the grace of God, he was glad, and he exhorted them all to remain faithful to the Lord with steadfast purpose. For he was a good man, full of the Holy Spirit and of faith, and a great many people were added to the Lord. Now listen to this verse, okay? So Barnabas went to Tarsus to look for Saul, and when he had found him, he brought him to Antioch. For a whole year they met with the church and taught a great many people, and in Antioch the disciples were first called Christians. So here in this verse, it's talking about when it says the disciples were first called Christians, it isn't necessarily talking about the disciples, the 12 that followed Jesus. It's talking about the new disciples of Jesus that are here in Antioch that had been preached to, and now that they have decided to become followers of Jesus, right? And it says, and in Antioch, the disciples were first called Christians. Now, does that mean that any time before that, nobody was a Christian? Or does it mean that the first time there, those people were called Christians? So I think that I think that what we look at is, okay, is it what we call people or is it who people are? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so in our day, we know that Jesus has died and rose. And in Romans, it tells us that we will be saved if we believe and confess with our mouth that Jesus died and rose again, right? Mm-hmm. And so for us to be a Christian, to be a follower of Christ, we need to confess that and believe that Jesus is Lord. Mm-hmm. Then we will be a Christian. We will be a follower of Jesus. But before Jesus died and rose again, to be a follower of Jesus means that you still had your Jewish ways. You were still Jewish, but you believed the Messiah had come and it was Jesus. Okay? So you weren't necessarily believing that he died and rose again because it hadn't happened yet, but you were believing Jesus was the Messiah. So if I were to answer the question, when did the disciples become Christians? If I were to answer that question, I don't know if I say Christian. Anyway, if I answered that question, I would say it was when they started to follow
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. But I would say that was because they became followers of Jesus. I wouldn't say they became Christian as in they became part of a Christian religion, because that hadn't been started yet, right? In fact, the word Christian for the religion didn't come till way later after Jesus had died and rose.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I would say it. The other places in the Bible where it says Christian, Acts 26:28, where Paul is before Agrippa. He had been before Festus, who had found no fault in him. He was in prison, and so he didn't want to put Paul to death, because he was like, he didn't do anything wrong. He just has a different view on religion than the Jewish people. So then Agrippa says, okay, well then give him to me. And then Paul goes before Agrippa, and instead of just giving his case, he goes before this ruler and like tries to lead him to Jesus, which I think is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then Agrippa says to Paul, in a short time, would you persuade me to be a Christian? In other words, in this short time, do you think I'm actually going to become a Christian? And so he uses that as in the follower of Jesus. And then 1 Peter 4:16, yet if anyone suffers as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God in that name. And once again, it's talking about being a follower of Jesus, not necessarily talking about the religion of Christianity. Do you guys ever have that idea of like, sometimes you feel like people misunderstand the word Christian? Do you ever have that, like where you're like, okay, they say Christian, but I don't know if they're really Christian? Or yeah, somebody will say, yeah, I'm a Christian, but you're like, you're not really a Christian. I don't think you know what that means. Do you ever have that?
I think it's kind of become from that side, and from a side of where someone might say, oh, they're a Christian, I don't want anything to do with them. It's become a bit of a buzzword.
Yeah, it's almost political, isn't it?
Right, where if somebody says it, then people have a million different assumptions of what that might mean.
Right.
So it's really, like you said, it's not a religion, it's a relationship.
Yeah.
A lot of people can come to church and say, yeah, I'm a Christian. But if you're not, following Jesus in your life, if that's not something that changes the way that you live, changes the way that you think, then that's just a label you've given yourself.
Yeah.
It's just something that you're attaching. It's not something that you're actually following and giving yourself to.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not your life. It's just a label.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How about you, Erica?
Well, I would say it's a label, honestly, for people that I've been in interaction with, some family members, like when they say they say they're a Christian because they go by, oh, I'm a good person, so I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
Which is could be a whole nother
question.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a whole nother podcast for sure. But yeah, I think that the word Christian, unfortunately, has taken on so many meanings and had so many things attached to it that, yeah, people's ideas in their mind automatically go to one thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a bad title because it still means follower of Jesus. And I would still say that I am a Christian unapologetically. But I want to make sure that they know when I say I'm a Christian, it means I'm a follower of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And a lot of times I will use that language instead of saying Christian, just because I don't want them to be confused, not because I want to disassociate with the word.
Right.
I have heard some people say, well, I don't call myself a Christian ever because I don't want to associate with religion. But to me, I'm like, well, the word is, if you look at the root, it means follower of Jesus. But yeah, I mean, if you go and you were to say go on the street and say, what do you think of when you hear the word Christian? I believe a lot of non-believers would be like, well, it just means that they hate this and they don't like this, and it's a bunch of rules and all the stuff that has been falsely fed to them instead of, well, they follow Jesus. You know what I mean? So hopefully people realize that difference. But when it came to the disciples, we hope we answered your question there, because I believe it's when they started following Jesus, if you look at the root of the word. But if you're talking about the religion, then some disciples, I don't know, would be called Christian because some of that religion came after them. But all right, good.
Great question.
I think so. Yes,
that was a really good question. It was short, but really good. So, All right. Whoever asked that, thank you. If you have any more questions, send them to us or put them in the comments down below. We'd love to hear them and discuss them. If you have any topics that you want us to draft in the future or anything for Fill in the Five, let us know. We'd love to have some more info about that. Or if you'd just like to call in during the show or give us some kind of
that would be cool.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, we have that capability. So let us know, and we'll set you all up to call during the show. So, all right. Any parting thoughts? I guess we have to give our resource for the week.
Yes.
And Eddie, go ahead and give that to us.
So this week being Easter week, I thought it'd be good to include something that kind of maybe gives you some background on the resurrection.
Yeah.
One of the books that was very impactful to me, very helpful for me, was The Case for Christ by Lee Strobel.
Such a good book.
That book goes through all the evidence for the resurrection and makes an argument for it. So if you have questions about, hey, did this really happen? Or how can I really believe that this is true? That is a great resource to go to and try and dig deeper into some of those questions.
Yeah. If you are a scientific-minded person or you're like, I want to go by facts, like, not just, I've just been taught that, but you're like, how do I know? Like, what are some of the proof of Jesus and whatnot? That is a great book for you.
Absolutely.
The Lee Strobel, who is the author of that, I believe, used to be an atheist, and then through his study of the facts became a Christian, became a follower of Jesus. And so they have the regular one, and then they also have a version for students that's a little easier to digest. So I'll put a link in that in the description, so you can check that out on Amazon if you want to check that book out. Or if you're a student and you really want that book, but you can't afford it, come find me or one of us on the youth staff on a Wednesday night, and we will buy it for you. Deal? Deal. All right. Well, I am excited for Easter, not just to eat a bunch of candy and especially Reese's peanut butter eggs, but also to celebrate the risen Christ.
Yes.
So, all right. Any parting thoughts, Erica?
No.
You've been really talkative.
Very talkative.
And Ryan, how about you? Ryan. Whoa. Gosh, I'm so used to Ryan being in here.
I'm a tall guy.
Ryan's been out of town. Eddie, go ahead and tell us any parting thoughts.
Go Dodgers.
Yeah, always has to be sports. All right, thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you check us out next week. We hope that you have a great Easter. Send us your questions. Don't eat too many jelly beans to where you get sick, and we will see you later.
Bye.
Bye.